voice has a story, every truth has a spark, and our my 2 cents drops wisdom that lights up the dark. Breaking it down, just facts and soul, with that smooth talking rhythm in full control. In case you didn't know, she's got something to say. From headlines to heartlines, every single day. Tune in, lean in, let that insight flow. It's real talk, deep cuts on with the show. Mic on fire with a take you won't miss. No fluff, no fear, just truth in the mix. She's the voice in the static, the calm in the noise, dropping knowledge like jewels, reclaiming the voice. Late night or morning glow, you'll feel it in your bones the way she flows. Hard truth, soft landing, all in her tone. She makes you feel a little less alone. In case you didn't know, it's more than a part. It's perspective, connection, and lifting the fog. So plug and press play, let the good vibes go. You've got a friend in your feet, now you know.
Hey y'all, and Sabby, yes and no. It is me, but because I don't have a studio handy, I had to go in and um I don't have a studio handy, so I had to go in and I had to add some stuff to it so that it would sound professional. But yeah, it is overall me, but I had to little auto tune it to make it sound professional. So if you went on Amber's page, I can sing a little bit, but I wasn't in the studio. I just did it like on the computer, and I had to add some auto tuning to it so it would sound professional. But who we got in here? Thank you. Hey Roz. Hey Sabby. Am. I am my sister's keeper. And Boo Love, Snooky. We probably won't have that many in here today because I'm not going to be talking about the saga. I'm going to be talking about Kiki Wyatt. And I guess everybody knows who she is. Everybody know who Kiki Wyatt is, right? R&B diva. Anybody knows who that is? Let me make you all remember who she is if y'all don't remember her by name. Um, Thank you, Sabby. But y'all know, if y'all know who she is, she's a very, very pretty lady. And as pretty as she is, her self esteem is at an all time low. And I feel bad for her because she tends to think a man is the way to go. As pretty as she is, she thinks without a man, she's nobody. and she has been, hey D, she has been around for a while, and she's been in one toxic relationship after the other, after the other, after the other. And I first heard of her with Avant, that song. Um, I forgot the name of it, but you all know that song I'm talking about. She had with Avant. She actually had two, Nothing in the World. She actually had two with him, but right after she came out with that song, next thing we were hearing was that she stabbed her husband. And from then on, when she came back to the limelight on R&B Divas, it wasn't a good look for her. But if you all don't know who I'm talking about, I had to find a video that would not get a copyright, just her singing. But this is who she is.
Uh huh. You started. And you get me while I'm dressing. You started singing while you're dressing, so I started taping while you're dressing. Come on.
A constant praise is he. His
Even she was
eyes
just listening to that.
is all the sparrow. And I know I'm free. He watches. Oh, what is it? Oh, Bobby. Oh, I say. Because
Hey Terry.
Oh! I can't do it. I can't do it.
I'm trying to feel the spirit in you niggas.
I can't do it. But I know. What do you know?
Where's my jacket?
He watches me. I'm not leaving without. He watches.
He watches. Over me. KeKe, honey. Thank you, Jesus.
Oh.
That's who she is with those power vocalists. But yeah, so if you all remember who she is now, as much talent as she has and as pretty as she is, nowadays that's not enough. Women tend to think that they have to have a man in order to be happy. And when they get that man, they go into the mindset to keep that man. When the relationship has already had problems, to keep that man, they try to have babies. With her mindset the way it is, and she's very insecure, she's very dependent on men. She's gone from one relationship to the next and did not take time in between those relationships to heal. And now here 11 babies later, her divorce, the ink on her divorce had not been signed, and she was already in a relationship. When her last husband left, she was already in a relationship. But if y'all remember, her first husband's name was Ramont Morton, Vermont Morton, something like that. And he was the one I was telling you all about where she had let's see this him right here. He was in the entertainment industry as well. And that's her first husband. And from when I was doing my research, I found out that they had a very toxic relationship, fighting, domestic violence, police being called. And when the incident happened, was she stabbed him? Let's see, I did have that clip. I think she ended up going to jail about that, but it says she stabbed him on. She did it on a Christmas morning, um, with the steak knife in fear for her life. They ended up dropping the charges. If I'm not mistaken, but nobody heard anything else from her until she went on R&B Divas, and they talked about that incident a little bit on there. Here it says on Christmas morning 2002, Kiki Wyatt was getting decked in her halls, and she wasn't going to take it anymore after enduring an abuse from her then husband, Ramont Morton. She picked up a pair of knife and stabbed him repeatedly in fear of her life. And um, I do remember them saying that it ended up getting, because it was self defense and because the police had been called so much, it ended up getting dropped. But anyway, when we saw her again, she was with her husband Michael on R&B Divas, and that's when we got a chance to see that she was not. I'm not gonna say not playing with the full deck, but she had a lot of issues going on. She had a lot of insecurities going on, and she really, to me, and I love Kiki. Don't get me wrong, I love Kiki. I love her talent, but she does not act like she is all there. And because of all that was going on with that, I remember her asking her husband. She was. Let me see. Can I find him real quick? She had a lot of issues, and Kiki is the type person. She's very conceited, but at the same time, she's very. I think she used that being conceited as a way to hide her insecurity, and she talks to these men like they're kids. She's very like insecure as far as scared they're gonna leave her, but yet she handles them like they're children. And the last video I'm gonna play, I'm looking for this stuff, but I'm gonna show you all some clips. I'm gonna show you all her children, and then we're gonna break down this video that her last husband put out, talking about how it was between them and how she how she allows those. I don't know. Kiki just got a lot going on, y'all. She reminds me of somebody else that we deal with and that we follow in this saga. How every man they meet, they feel like they have to have a child with them in order to stay happy. I don't know why women feel like, okay, I'm not whole unless I got a man. I was with my husband for 32 years. I was separated from him too, but for the most part, I was with him for 32 years. And when I tell you all, I was not in no hurry to get entangled with nobody. I was not in no hurry to do any of that after my husband died because I needed time for me. I was in love with my husband, so I was not going to bring all those feelings into a new relationship. I had to get over that. I had to heal from losing my husband before I decided to get serious about somebody else because I didn't want to be bringing that over into a new relationship and then comparing him, whoever I'm with, to my husband. And that's what a lot of women do. They always, hey, Robin and Latay and Terry, they always go and move on too quick. And then they end up comparing the new guy to the old guy because the old guy's not out their system. And that's what That's what you end up finding going on. But she made a comment in an interview one time because they were like, why they was asking her why she was having all those kids. And do you all know? I'm gonna read it to you. She said that she had all these kids because, let me see, is this it? They asked her, is the R&B singer and actress KeKe Wyatt announced earlier this month that she and her husband Michael Ford, and that's the second husband, are expecting their ninth child together. The family consists of three children from her first marriage, one child from his previous marriage, and then four children together. So at that point, they had eight children plus one child that came from another marriage, her husband's previous marriage. And then it's in an interview with the Christian Post, she said that she was anointed by God for motherhood. I know it sounds funny, but I really think that it's a gift of mine. Okay, if that's the case, all of us have a gift to bear children, or some of us do have gifts to bear children. But at some point, we got to think we're not just made to lay on our backs and make babies, especially bring them into toxic relationships. Those children deserve more than that. It's our job to be protectors. When we bring children in the world, it's our job to be protectors. And I was looking at her the last show that she had on. I'm not sure if it got renewed, but she carries on the same way we see her carrying on those shows. She act like that around her kids, and I think that's a very unhealthy environment. I just don't see how people can. I don't see how people can do that. Purposely bring children in environments that are not healthy, because then you're gonna have children that think is normal that's gonna grow up and one day they're gonna be in the same type relationship. What they see parents go through or what they grow up with, that's a product of their environment, and most of the time they get into similar situations. So people need to stop being selfish when they bring children in this world and try to bring them in healthier relationships, because unhealthy relationships make them go be an unhealthy. It's a cycle, and at some point, somebody got to break the cycle. Um, but here's Michael, y'all, and he's trying to talk when they do those.
Tripping already. I'm a
He's trying.
tripper,
Me
okay?
too.
Come on, Chris. Yes.
Which makes work so much harder, man. A lot of times you have to put emotions and business aside. You have to separate the two, and you don't know how to do that. So that's where I come in, and I keep your emotions, and I deal with your emotions over here. But when it comes time for business, I implement what you told me on the emotion side into handling it in a professional manner, because sometimes it's hard for you to be professional.
And I see what he's saying. He's trying to talk to her, and she's up there clowning. But that's how she was, even on her new show. Kiki did not want to listen to anybody, and then when they say something to her, she would get flipped at the mouth. I cannot use a lot of clips I found because they were owned by VH1, and I know for sure if I use them, I would get struck. But if you all remember those those shows that she was on, that's when I was straight shocked, because I always thought that she was a pretty girl, but when she came back out on that show, she was very pretty, and it appeared to be that she was seemingly happy. But once they went inside that home and you saw how fragile she was, and then in this saga and see it now, Brianna's not an ugly girl. I'm not going to sit there and tell that lie. But emotionally, Brianna is very insecure. And the ones that are the most insecure, they come out here and act like they got it going on, but their insecurities show through their actions. And like I say, she's another one that likes to have all these babies out of wedlock in order to hold these men. And if she got a tube tied, if she wouldn't have gotten those tubes tied, then she would be just like Kiki Wyatt with the 11 children. And I'm hearing that she's pregnant again. But that was Michael. That was the second husband. I'm not sure what happened to their relationship. I could not find anything. But if I can stem from that show and the way that show was going, she ran them off. She runs all of them off. But this video here, of her third husband, Zachariah David. He pretty much told into Kiki's mindset and how a household is ran. He was saying that when they came into the picture, when he came into the picture, that she when he came into the picture, she wanted to keep their money separate, but he was not in it for her money. He had his own money, and she would go to the bank by herself. But I watched a couple of episodes of that show, and she was not at all acting like a wife. Um, where is it? But he's saying that her new beau is fine too. But he's saying that that's her cousin. He brought this video out about 3 months ago, and he was saying that he wanted to get everything off his chest before he went into ministry, and he laid it out. I'm not gonna play the whole hour. I'm not gonna play the whole hour of it, but it was really funny to me.
Hey, you guys.
And the people
I'm sorry I had to come back on here
up
because the video ended and I accidentally cut it off. And but I wanted to come back on here and finish what I was saying. And so I want to tell you guys that I haven't been able to see my children for over a year. I was only able to see my son. I left, again, as I was stating in my testimony, I left in November the 4th, 2023, November the 4th or so, 2023. And I did not see my son, KeKe, until the end of June, which was the divorce court for me and KeKe Wyatt.
Why is it, y'all, that when these women break up with these men, they do all of that to have babies with these men, but the first thing they do when these men decide to leave is keep those men's children away from him or away from them? There's no right in that. Let me see.
Where we would have the divorce finalized. And I wasn't able to talk to him and see my kids. It was impossible for me to call her. Because I refused contact with her because of the maniac, her maniac ways, the demonic, the belittling, the verbal abuse, that's done for life, as I stated. And so at this particular time, I wasn't able to talk to them anyway because her and her cousin were living together. I'll call it allegedly or whatever you want to say. November the 3rd, the 4th or so after I left, 3 weeks later, Larry was living there in the house. She had moved Larry in, which is her cousin, Larry Weathers. And he was still married to his wife, Ebony Weathers. That's these guys. Okay. Now I'll put that picture back up here in a minute. But forgive me, my camera is over here. So if I'm looking over here, it's just better for me. The way I have my camera, you got a bigger picture, but I'm looking at myself. But the camera's over here. So don't pay any attention to that. So anyway, I was not able to, when I left and I had to leave for the last time, as I expressed, my oldest son was bumping into me. She had confronted my oldest son, I was the his stepfather, for stealing her money. And he had been taking out over $100 a day, and she allowed it to go on for about 7 days. And so he had racked up over $1,000 he had taken from her out of the ATM. He was taking $100 out of the ATM, plus him and his girlfriend Takaya were spending $250 to $300 every other day. The expenses were every other day was like $300, $250, was racking up every 2 days of them going out to eat, going to different places, to fun places and stuff, and ordering stuff off Amazon. My second oldest son, again, was the stepfather. That's why I'm talking like this. He had recently, I don't know, 5 or 6 months prior, put the card.
Farm in the wild.
So let me let that.
Raise animals and harvest crops. Make food for yourself and for sale.
Y'all see how he's still referring to those kids as his children, even though he had left her and they had been separated over a year, and he was still saying, "My son." Those men, when men come in to be stepfathers, some of them, they get attached to those kids. And from watching the show, he treated them like they were his children. But when they separate, the women will take and snatch their relationship away from them with their children because you're not their biological dad. Why do they do that? They were married from 2018 to 2023. That's 5 years. And those kids and this man had developed a relationship in that time. So why are women so vindictive that because the man don't want you, that means he don't want the kids either? I don't get it.
His mother's debit card, Kiki's debit card, on his older brother's phone. Raja has had her debit card since he was 14 years old.
Right, let's say.
She allowed him when Michael Jamar, her ex-husband, left. Raja, got him a card from the bank, another debit card, his own card, and at 14 had him paying the rent, the lease, the mortgage, or whatever, of the house, and paying bills. And so he would take her card and he'd buy and do whatever he wanted to. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. He ate whatever he wanted to eat. Steak, lobster, shrimp. It don't matter what. He got whatever he wanted. And in my time being there over 5.5 years, is sometimes 5 and 6 boxes coming every day. Sometimes it was 2, but it was something coming almost every day from Amazon. It seemed like, from Raja, with her money. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. She allowed it, and that's her business. I had no say so. And she was raising the older children, raising monsters because they were spoiled. And so sometimes she would not give the children money. And Bean did not have her card for all these years. He recently, before I left in 2023, November 2023, again, as I stated, his older brother, his younger brother, Raja, who had the card since he was 14, he had it put on his Apple phone, on the iPhone. Out too much. It was just a bunch of mess. And so Raja ended up coming in the room. And so he's coming in the room to so-called take up for his older brother. And because Raja was his mother, she looked at him like that was her God. And that's why she allowed him, all the children knew, to do whatever he wanted to do. You know, he didn't have to, Raja, the older children, they didn't have to respect nobody but Kiki, their mother. She'll jump on them. She'll put her hands on them, slap them, beat them down, whatever. But anybody else saying anything to her kids, the thought was, she'll kill them. She'll take them out. I'll kill you for messing with my children. For if you say one word to my kids, her children were her God, but Raja was her God. And so she allowed him to just do and so she created a monster. Plenty of times, there's this particular story. My oldest son was with Mimi, and they were in the Suburban, and he always was involved with road rage.
Any of you watched
he hated
that last
most
show
human
that she had
beings,
on?
people. He didn't like people. And the only people he liked was someone that would kiss his behind.
It was on.
And I was always kissing behind. I kissed all my children
But he was
behind.
on there.
It wasn't fake. It was love. But you get sick and tired. I love my children. I look past them being spoiled and them having these monstrous characteristics. But she caused it by the way she raised them. She raised them to not have to respect anybody. and but her and everything like that. One particular occasion, my kids came home and told my oldest son, Mimi, they were probably afraid. Raja, there was a lady he was following. She didn't get out of the way quick enough. He was trying to bully her he had a big old Suburban that belonged, my wife, her Suburban. And he followed the woman home and did donuts in her yard, in her flower bed, and tore up her whole yard. And the children were worried, Mimi and Bean, anyone could have came out with a firearm and laid them down, out of the house. It could have been deadly. And stuff like this happened, calling women in Kroger's in different places, the B word, the BITCH word, 40-year-old black women, 50-year-old black women, and she could have had a son in the parking lot. She could have had a son in the store or anything, and it would have been over. Uncle, who was...
Cable prices have your wallet against the ropes? Are you pinned down by too many streaming services? Or with a...
was supposed to be the baddest man in town, known for beating people up. And guess what? He got laid down. I had to restrain him, and he got laid down. And God don't want me in those type of situations. And I bless his name. I have to say all of this. I have to get all this out because we're just keeping it real, okay? So just because a person is nice and just because they're easygoing does not mean that they are pushovers. And that is who I am. I am not a pushover. And so I fear the Lord. I love the Lord. And I repent when I'm wrong or if I do wrong. And so anyway, I told that story to say that I have wisdom, even while I wait for wisdom, I have enough discernment to understand that you have to be careful. So anyway, going back into this, she dealt with the older son, and he's apologized, mom, and and she accepted and everything.
That I heard.
And that's how that got started. Okay.
When he was
The oldest kid. And so Beans following me around.
talking about,
I don't know. I was depressed. Tank top. A drag out. I'm the one carrying all her bags through the airport. 80 pounds. It seemed like 100 pounds. What? I'm carrying all her luggage by hand. I'm a strong dude. Okay. All through the airport. It don't matter how long. I didn't need a cart. Okay. Suitcase. You name it. Okay. And our driver, she said, "You're not my security. You're not my security." That's why I wore what I wore. Tank them. All people talking about black. I was depressed. Tank top, a knockout drag out outfit. In other words, when I went to shows, they like, "Why are we here?" They would laugh at me. Like, dude, as big as you are, why are we even? We need the police. I am just like my brother. A world-class wrestler. I'm not the one. Not the one. All this bully stuff and all this stuff. And so anyway, dang. I ended up cussing, going off, and I really wanted to teach them a lesson, but I have to go on. Raja called the police. He calls the police right then and there with his arrogant self, his coward self. Talking about that I got guns. I'm have them in hostage, holding them in hostage. And this is all on the Ring camera. And she only played a chopped up a shorter version of me cussing to make me look bad and showing my older sister and showing everybody. But you didn't show my older son coming bumping shoulders with me and trying to be Mr. Tough Guy. Now, what if he would have brushed your shoulders, KeKe? Would you have stabbed him? You already held that gun 3 feet away, ready to shoot him down dead. Okay? Because you don't care about your life and you're a maniac. You're a lunatic. Okay? The Ring camera. She has a short recorded clip of me going off on them and but not being bumping. All that was recorded. And she just played a little chopped up. It's bad when somebody knows what's going on. And there's so much of a liar. She said if her children killed somebody, if they took somebody out, she would go and say that she committed the homicide, that she did it so that they could go free. That's how crazy this woman was. Her children were her God, but her number one God was Raja. Okay? And we're not going to get into the things that Raja did before he got cancer.
This is Wistia Live. It makes hosting webinars a piece of cake.
Wait, I'm confused.
And a monster. Okay? And so out of love, we gonna leave it alone. Okay? But this is what happened. This is the last day of me leaving that house. That was it for life. And so I left, and that was it. And so this is where Larry Weathers and for 3 weeks after I left, she's calling this man who's living with his wife in Kentucky, Ebony. They would come over and visit several times. We'd go out to eat and everything. This is her cousin. And so 3 weeks after I left, she cannot be alone, a lunatic. And so she figures out that I'm not coming back. I'm never coming back. Okay? Smart girl. And so she calls her cousin, who's still married to his wife, has him to come. He comes like 1 or 2 times. The second time, he stays. Him with his opportunist self. Forgive me. He's an opportunist. Him as an opportunist, he saw to take advantage of the situation.
But y'all, did you all remember when she was supposed to be coming out being a minister, and it was with this guy? They was supposed to be starting the church. Do y'all remember that? I wonder what happened with that.
To use her money to get at that bank account. Okay. And so after he locked it in and convinced her and tell her, you got to divorce Zachariah. It's got to stop. And his manipulation. 2 manipulators. Okay. She shaved her hair off after I left. Okay. 2 manipulators. And so he convinces her, you got to divorce him and everything. And so once Larry secured that she was getting a divorce, the goal was is for Larry to get his divorce, her to get her divorce. I think he was already divorced, but he called Ebony after he was telling her he locked it in, asking his wife for a divorce. So this woman stole her cousin away from his wife and had her own cousin to come live with her, and they began an ancestral relationship, having sex and a sexual relationship, and then said they're going to start a church. Hopefully you guys can see that. It might be backwards. We're starting a church. Y'all guys can kind of put that together. I don't know if it's going to show up backwards on the screen or not. But hey, everybody, we're starting a church. And in the video, she's taking the video at her home in her bedroom. She passes the phone to her cousin, Larry Weathers. Okay. And to my partner,
hey, Tabby.
We're going to be starting a church in February. And look at this. Look at this mess. Nikki Gilbert goes and does a whole interview on them, and she put a small clip it up, 3-minute clip it. I don't know if it was 3 minutes. She goes to Sound of Atlanta, the name of the church. Y'all remember this? Sound Atlanta. Okay, look, all the receipts are here. Okay, this is Larry Weathers. This is Kiki. Now let's get Ebony. Let's get some pictures.
He was trolling y'all.
Let's do this the right way. Where's my
He was
iPad?
trolling.
Y'all give me a second.
Let me skip this up.
Y'all get divorced.
Before Married America, Amy was struggling financially
But you
as a
all
single
go through
parent.
it.
She
Y'all
worked
know
as a
what?
truck operator.
Let me pause this. That's what's wrong with a lot of people now, because they see their favorite quote unquote celebrities, their favorite I'll say celebrities, their content, what they social media influencers, all these people that's up and they doing well, they see them playing with God, right? And that has become the new normal, because now it's like people don't have nothing to think with. They see all these people with all this wealth playing with God and giving God the praise for giving them all of this. And they live in life that says, that exemplifies everything, but that they live in accordance to how the Bible says live. But people seeing them with all this stuff and think that it's God blessing them. So now they feel like they can come on here and you play with God in your face, and they can be cursing. And then the same thing, they can get through cursing. Then the next thing you know, they having prayer meetings on social media. You can come up here, you can run around with thongs up your ass, showing your ass to entice men, want men and women flaunting over you. But in the next video, you're dancing and praising God all over the place, all over your timeline. It's about God. How can that be right when the Bible say you cannot cuss and praise God at the same mouth? Oil and water don't mix. He said you're gonna hate one and love the other, but they loving both of them, and they've made that so normal that you see people just doing that and doing it at will. They want to talk about they want to talk about their Christian life, but if you were such a Christian, your spirit in you would not let you get on the internet and do some of the stuff you do. These celebrities have normalized that mess, and people see them getting all the riches, so they feel like it's normal. God blessing them. Hell, I can do it too.
And you get a divorce from Zach.
And I don't think they realize that the devil blesses as well. I don't care if you give God credit for it, the devil will bless you as well to keep your mind confused.
Zachariah. And the goal was for them to get married.
Before Married America, Amy was struggling financially as a single parent. She worked as a truck operator.
KeKe wanted to them to get married, a lunatic. So she wanted to marry her cousin and was trying to have a baby by her own cousin. Okay. Ebony didn't even know nothing about this. Somebody had to tell her. She didn't even know what was going on. She was still posting on Kiki's page. Hey, girl, yeah, you done cut off all your hair and she's sitting up there with your husband, Ebony. That's my sister. I love her. All right. Let's go to some pictures of the church. Years later, he had the same thing his father died from. And I think he was in the pulpit when God struck him. He had a widowmaker heart attack. And Larry died. This guy, Kiki's cousin she was sleeping with.
I appreciate
allegedly.
And you all that are in here, I also appreciate you all being.
And they had to resuscitate him on a Sunday, Larry.
Talking about the stuff.
Okay. And God gave him another chance. And you mean to tell me this is how you repay God, Larry? This is how you repay God, and you don't think there's no hell, and you could just live any kind of way? Where do you think Hitler's at, Larry? Where do you think hell that the devil and his angels are going to? The lake of fire. It ain't none of that. Now, I told you I'm a seasoned veteran. I've been out the body thousands of times. I've had thousands of near-death experiences, been to heaven and to hell. So because you ain't never left your body, you ain't never been to hell, you gonna risk that chance, Larry? You know better. No, what it is you don't want to do. People don't want to, they don't want no rules. They want to do whatever they want to do and think they gonna make it in. Think they're gonna make it to heaven. You're gonna get to heaven anyhow. Saved by grace.
I'm glad you were able to.
Listen,
thank you.
God told me to tell you that people have been prostituting his grace. He said no liars, no fornicators, no adulterers. Huh? they'll have their part in the lake of fire. Okay? And
Thank you. Thank
so
you.
you didn't learn your lesson. Was down for a whole year. And after this,
It is.
yeah, after you down for a whole year with a widowmaker heart attack, like your father who passed away a couple years before you gonna go to your cousin's house and seize the opportunity for money because you are a greedy, money hungry, seeking devil. That you're gonna seize the opportunity to become. I'm a prophet, so to become a because you want to be a famous pastor across the world and have everybody look at you and maybe hopefully drive a Bentley, your ambitions, and have a secret lust for your own cousin anyway, because you never would have done it if it wasn't there in the first place. You would have turned her down. But have a secret lust? Ugh. And this is all very embarrassing and disgusting for me ever to be connected to. But God has his reasons, and God has exposed you guys because God is cleaning house. He's cleaning house. Okay?
Y'all believe she's sleeping with her cousin? Do y'all believe that guy's her cousin? Because I've seen them on little things that she posts where they're out bowling and they're in the car together, singing together. But the thing is that her cousin? What y'all think?
So I'm
I,
packing up this Florida order right now
if
for
you all
Sierra.
used to watch
Sierra's
that
got
show during the time they were in the hospital, he used to be so passive. He just let her talk to him in a kind of way. He never tried to defend himself. I didn't like
He couldn't
that. I
take
don't
it
like no
anymore.
woman that think they can run a man,
The abuse and all that
that
stuff,
think they can
and she
run
was
a man.
having
I
to
don't
pay
like
for.
that. I know today's woman don't believe in submissiveness, but once you say I do, you have to let a man lead. You don't have to do everything they tell you to do, but you have to be respectful still. And the way she talked to the two husbands that I seen her out in public, on public television shows, it was not cute, and I could not blame those men for leaving her. And I think Kiki's biggest problem is, like he said, she's afraid of being alone. But she needs to not worry about a man, stop having all these babies, and get her inner self together. Because until she can get herself together and get her heart right, and until she can do that, she gonna stay from man to man to man to man to man. Thank you, Terry, for the super chat. Yeah, she's gonna stay from man to man to man to man to man because she's not healing, and it's something got to be deeper within her to make her this disturb. I don't want to say disturbed, but if you all watch Kiki now, I like her. She does have some disturbing behavior. And these people be out here, I'll be looking at her comments when people be telling the truth on her. I don't care how bad people act, they gonna have a fan club that condone their behavior. And I've always been one that believed in hard love. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna lay it out there. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna go along to get along. I'm not that type person. And if y'all hear my smoke detector, I apologize again. We changed the battery in it. We drained it. I think they say you're supposed to drain it to make press a button to make the rest of them go off and then change the battery. We've done that 3 times, 3 new batteries, and it's still going off. And I can't reach the thing to unplug it, just unplug it. And it's just irritating at this point. But anyway, as I was saying, you have all these people that look up to these people and condone their bad behavior. And that's never good for the person because how are they going to learn? Even her mother coddles her. Even her mom. I know her mom has sense enough to know that Kiki does not be right in every situation, but she will go there and she tries to defend it. But I did see on that show something happened with the older son, and he was mad at the grandmother, and he had some type of event and said he didn't want the grandmother to come. Grandmother showed up anyway. Kiki got upset because the grandmother showed up to a birthday party, I think it was. Um, she was like, well, why would she come here? He said he didn't want her here. Instead of her being the adult and trying to rectify whatever was wrong between the grandmother and the child, she condoned the child's behavior. And grandparents are not like parents. They're not gonna sugarcoat nothing. They're not going to do that. They're going to keep it real and they're going to tell you the truth. And I think it was about something she said. Grandmother would tell them the truth, and then the mom would go back and coddle them. So the oldest, I think it was the oldest son, was upset with her. But anyway, she when you keep accepting bad behavior and condoning bad behavior, that person does nothing to try to change. I don't think she even knows mentally that something's wrong with her, because if she did, she would not act the same way in every relationship and expect the man to stay. At some point, you got to see it's not me. I mean, it's not these men. Every man I've gotten, okay, that first one may have been a little rough because he was physically abusing her, but is that the type behavior she's looking for by talking and trying to what did that girl what is that word? I always forget the words. Y'all gonna realize that's the pattern with me. When I be talking so fast, I forget what I be wanting to say. But you know how Laonya be doing. She is like she antagonize to get a reaction, because that's what she is wanting. So I'm wondering if, because she went through that toxic relationship with her first husband, is that the type of relationship she's looking now? And that second husband and this husband, they were not on that time. They were not the type. They were not from the hitcher, and they were too passive. Now the one did speak up, but I never saw this one right here speak up on that show. I watched like 4 episodes and I couldn't keep watching it because it was not a good look for Kiki.
Live with you, but guess what? He couldn't take it anymore. Yeah, Larry Weathers live Facebook. He should be deleting it in a little bit with all the stuff that's going to be coming out. He should be shutting his page down a little bit. So get it while you can if it's still up. This is the church, Sound Atlanta. Okay, allegedly.
Dare go to that church.
Sound Atlanta. And so Larry, after I left, okay. After I left, that relationship lasted. It ended until Mother's Day
Keeper for the super sticker
of 2024 is when Larry had enough. He left. Okay, they've been getting into it, all this stuff. Okay. And so Mother's Day 2024. So I guess that was March. Yeah, March. The church, by the way, the church started in February.
Honey, I'm unlocking my secret vault of singing techniques for the first time ever. The Vocal Star Academy.
February, March, April. It ended at the end of April. April, March. So Larry left. He left around Mother's Day, I believe. She took a trip and he didn't go with her. She came back. His stuff was gone. He was gone. Okay. Allegedly, she was trying to have a baby with her own cousin, Larry. Yeah. The goal is for them to get their divorces and then get married as cousins. That's where this guy comes in. Okay. The bowling alley dude.
That one looked good.
Handsome guy. Okay. I'm not a hater. I was proud of her for being with someone that she's not related to. This is sick. Okay. But guess what, honey? All his other women, you didn't talk and find out? Let me throw this out here. If I,
Exactly, Latae.
you know, y'all know I'm a prophet. So if I get you this Rolls Royce Wraith, of course she ain't gonna put in his name. I don't think she that stupid. If I lease this Rolls Royce Wraith, it's yours as long as you stay.
But y'all, yeah. Hey Brittany, he he had a couple of those on his YouTube page where he went into debt. I picked the wrong video and I didn't have time to go back and find it, but he really got into details about what was going on with her. He explained what we all know, how she likes to be the masculine one in the relationship. He told everything. He talked about how she raised the kids, her mom's relationship, and he was coming out telling his truth and how her kids were very spoiled, how she was very insecure. She was always accusing of cheating. And when you go from relationship to relationship to relationship, and you've not gotten the first toxic relationship out your system, all of your other relationships are going to, your mindset is still in that first toxic relationship. So by you never getting that first relationship out your system, you're going to bring it to the second one and the third. I think how long of time do you all think is good to wait before you start dating? Exactly, Latae. Before you start dating other a new person. If you're married or if you're in a relationship that lasts a while and you all were in love, how long is a good time for you to wait before you start dating somebody else? I've heard people say a month. I've heard people say 2 months. I think, to be fair, Brittany, we was talking about how toxic. We're talking about how toxic Kiki Wyatt is, and how women are afraid to be alone, and how they go from one toxic relationship to the next, and no break in between. They just hop from relationship to relationship to relationship. Like she was with her first husband after the stabbing, then she got with the other guy, then she got with this guy. After this guy, he was only going out the house for a little while. Then she started messing with her cousin. Then she and her cousin broke up, and then she started with the guy that last guy that was on the picture that they were at the bowling alley with. She just going from relationship to relationship to relationship, no break in between. Exactly, no breaks in between, and every one of them, I don't know, but every one of them, she's trying to have babies with. She on baby number 11, and then he said she was trying to get pregnant from the cousin and wanted to marry the cousin. She made a comment that she was gifted to have children. And she made another comment that she was ordained to be a mother. Not ordained. What is that word? Anointed. She was anointed for motherhood. Hey, Truth Slayer, she was anointed for motherhood. Like I said earlier, all of us anointed for motherhood if we can have kids, but we have sense enough not to have 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 30 kids. I think that she does that so she can always have something because of her insecurities. Even if a man is not around, she has to have so many kids around so that she won't be alone. But she never looks at the fact that at one point you're gonna be too old to have them. All those children are gonna be grown, and then you're gonna be stuck at home with by yourself. So I don't get it. Her insecurities are worse than any I've seen watching her show. And I was also saying that no matter how you look, how pretty you are, how fine you are, whatever gift you got, it's something with this lady, and it's something with Brianna that goes deeper than just insecurity. It's got They need to lay on somebody's couch to find out the root of what's going on with them. Don't date anyone that's separated from their spouse. They're still not single. Okay, I'm glad you did. Did you get my number, True Slayer? And she is doing too much. She stayed doing too much. And a lot of, like I was saying, a lot of people see these people and they look up to them. They admire them. They're fans. And when they're like that, when they are fans like that, they see nothing wrong in nothing they do. But everybody got to know that the way Kiki acts is not normal. These people are normalizing bad behavior. They're normalizing craziness. They're normalizing women coming forward acting like fools. Okay, I'll get back with them and see if you can get it. Do you have another platform I can direct message you? Yeah, they're normalizing this bad behavior. Social media, I think, is the social media and these reality shows the worst thing that could have happened to our race. Because before they started with these reality shows, the most we saw of black celebrities was paparazzi pictures, interviews. We didn't see all that bad behavior behind the scenes. We didn't see all that bad behavior in real life. When I came up, our celebrities were, and I'm gonna tell my age when I say this, Felicia Rashad, um, what's that other lady name? Alfred Woodard, with Anita Baker, who else was hot back? Well, popular back then. Janet Jackson. Um, I cannot even think of all of them, but they were the ones that were trending when I was coming up. And the most that we saw of them were interviews. Every now and then you would see a documentary, but they didn't have the cameras in their faces 24/7 for 2 months to catch up all that bad behavior. And I'm not saying that behind the scenes their lives were not like that, but they were not put in the front to normalize bad behavior. When they came forward, they carried themselves respectably. Think about Diane Carroll. Think about I'm going old school. Think about Diane Carroll. Think about Felicia Rashad. Think about Alfred Woodard. Think about um, Janet Jackson, Anita Baker, Whitney Houston when she came along reality TV. It came out, so we were knowing everything she was doing. But think about these celebrities. Even Beyonce at this point, you don't know what goes on behind the scenes. She come out, she put her music out, she put her shows out, but whatever goes on in her private life, she don't put it out there. And we've speculated, people have speculated that things have not been perfect in that marriage. Even on that elevator scene, everybody speculated, but not one person came out and say what really happened. Because they keep their private business private. Reality TV has made a mockery out of black women. And that has gotten black people, that's gotten black women to the point like we see going on this internet. We see we gravitate to bad behavior. We gravitate to drama. We gravitate to it. Like I got 25 people in here. If I was talking about drama, if I was talking about something, I would have a full house because that is what people gravitate to. If it had never been for shows like Real Housewives of Atlanta, Love and Hip Hop, that showed black people acting like they act. I think they started coming out about like 2005, 2006. I know Housewives 2009. And Nene and all them started getting on here acting like fools, and we were there for it. And I still be there for it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm here for it. But it's not a good look on us. And it's made it normal for us to expect that when we look at TV. When we look at the internet, that's what we expect because it has been normal in our society. But it's not a good look. When you think about the overall picture, who do you see the most on here acting like we act? You see black folks. Our race is the ones that get on here tearing each other down. Our race is the ones that do all of that. You don't see other races doing it. And if they do, it's not they may argue back and forth, but they're not getting on here just tearing down day in and day out. And because of that, that's what make Brianna's big. That's what make the Kiki Wyatts big. That's what make Cardi B's and all of that. That's what make them stand out more because these are very dramatic entertainers. And they don't realize they just entertainment for us. Ain't nobody vying to be like that. We just entertain. They just entertaining us. Yeah, they getting the clicks, and they getting the clicks. They getting the views. We making them money. However, because they acting like that, we're not laughing with them. We laughing at them, and that's what they don't get. They think that people in the chat, amen, and that, and amping it up is for them. If they was for them, they would tell them not to get on there with all that. And the more people laugh, and the more people in the comments agreeing with them, the worse they get. And I'm looking at Kiki. She got a page on on Instagram. She got a page on even on, I think, on YouTube. But I was looking at them people in the comments. They be going in on anybody that says anything bad about her. Anybody. If anybody say anything bad about that, any of them, Brianna, that lady across the street, if their supporters, alleged supporters, say anything bad about them, they coming for your head. Now, I'm not going to say everybody's a fan because some people actually admire these people and how they act. However, that just shows you that they just as twisted. That just shows you that they're the same cloth. And the people that are condoning the way Kiki Wyatt be acting, even just the people that condone that, they're not helping her. They scarring her because anybody that knows this woman, they see her toxicity and they got to know that it's not normal. And they got to know this girl is crying out. She needs help. I remember when she was on that show with Michael and they was on that confessional and she was talking about the beans or something about the cans and the beans. And in other words, he was asking her, she was comparing herself to the dented can of beans. And when you what she was like, you have beans, you have cans of beans, and then my can is dented. And he was like, well, I don't care about the can being dented because when you open them up, it's still the same beans. He look at your inside. And he was saying that to make her feel better. It's not about what's on the outside, whatever. It's not the outer feel. He was like what was on the inside. But if the inside, if her insides is showing that she's fragile, you as her husband, you should have been trying to get her to go talk to somebody. And if I'm not mistaken, on that show, they did go to counseling. But Kiki was not here for it. She was getting upset with the counselor because he was not saying what she wanted to hear. So with people like that, there's no hope. Because if a person is going to help you, how can you not be willing to listen? If you already have all the answers, there's no help for you. And she's the type that she already have all the answers. She got all these insecurities, but she already have all the answers, so it's not going to be any help for her. And that's the same with that young lady Robert used to be married to. She got all the answers, nothing's wrong with her. But she's got to know that something's not clicking right in her head. I wonder, does she ever lay down at night and feel bad about some of the stuff she do? I wonder, does she ever lay down at night and just have an honest conversation with herself about the way she carry on the internet and the things that she do and whether it's right or wrong? Let me see. Okay, truth bear. Some people need to be single before getting into a relationship. Exactly. And that's what's not going on. Even Brianna did not give herself time to get over Robert. She brought Janelle into that toxic mess her and Robert was going to. That toxicity rubbed off on him. I'm not gonna say it rubbed off on him because a real man would not have dived into that like he did. So it was in him anyway. Candace. Okay. And also, okay, the dating stuff mean going out by yourself, doing things like that. You know, some people. Let me tell y'all. Like I told, I don't know if you were in here, Brittany, but me and my husband were together 32 years. We the from 2014 to 2019, we were together every day, all day because we worked together. We had a company, and we worked together. He died suddenly because we were actually headed to go get some cameras to install in this lady's. We was doing a home security install, and she at the last minute decided she wanted cameras. Our cameras were not going to get there until that Wednesday, so we were headed to Columbus to buy some from another home security company. So when we did that, on the way there, we hadn't left home 40 minutes. He had an episode. I mean, we laughing and talking, riding. He was eating his food. He had just said something, and I was still laughing at what he said. And then in the middle of me laughing, he said, I need to go to the hospital. When I looked over at him, he was in distress. So I had to turn around, get him back to the hospital. Within 2 hours, he was dead. So I went from having my partner by my side to being a single woman in a matter of 2 hours. And I did like if I had that mindset, all I could think about, y'all, because our children were living in Atlanta, and it was just me and him in this big old house. So my mindset went to how am I gonna make it without him? He's been by my side day in, day out for 5 years. And I had to rely on God to not just jump into something else because you know when a man finds out that you are a widow, they try to take advantage of widowers. So number one, I didn't trust nobody, but I did have they was swarming around my door like bees, and that's how I threw myself into karaoke to give myself something to do. I started going to the gym to give myself something to do so I would not just sit around that house and be lonely. I was going around other people. The hardest part though was when I went back home at night and saw that quietness. And I was real scary. I slept with every light. We had a 3,000 square foot home. I slept with every light on in that house because I was scared. But anyway, but I didn't go jumping right into no relationship because the way I love my husband, that wouldn't have been fair to nobody. I wouldn't have been 100% into them either because I love my husband. I had to get out. I've not. I still haven't gotten over him, but I've gotten better. I had to give myself time to grieve, and I could not take that grieving into the next relationship. So I say it's not good. It's just not good to just jump into other relationships. And my friend now, I still be. Thank you, Brittany. I can't believe there's so many dumb women. It is a lot of dumb women in the world. I like when sisters talk about other things besides drama. There's other things that is more important needs to be talked about. Yeah, it is. But right now, with that mess that's going on, I think people, with all that's going on right now, when you think it's gonna die down, something else happens. When you think it's gonna die down, another little beef starts up. So it's really hard. Like it was dying down. I don't know if they do that to, they do that to keep it relevant, but it's just so much, and it's hard to die down. Like they on YouTube arguing, and U.S. on high alert. Nobody said nothing about that. I think she feel bad sometimes. Then when another one of her personality step in, she is kind of unaware of what's being said and done. Yeah, Because she got about 7 of them. She got a personality for every day. So are you all married? How many of you all are married? The reason I talked about Kiki, y'all, is because of Brianna. They got so many similarities. It's not funny. They got so many similarities. I always used to say she reminds me of Kiki. She reminds me so much of Kiki Wyatt. How long you been married, Latae? You've been divorced since 2003. I saw a comment you made. I meant to read. Am I my sister's keeper? Um, don't date anymore. That's separated from this. Oh, I did read yours. I thought you were saying you didn't date anymore. All right, Brittany. I think you got a delay, girl. Yeah, but I don't care. Like I was saying, I don't care how talented these women are. I don't care how pretty these women are. I don't care how much people think they got it going on behind the scenes. They some insecure little girls, and that by them being so insecure, that explains a lot of their bad behavior. What would they do, right, if these platforms go away? Because right now TikTok running on a fine line because Trump is trying to make them sell to the United States. He gave them another 90-day extension, wanting them to sell to somebody over here. Like they just gonna give up their just like they just gonna give up their platform. They'll give up our country before they give up their platform. But I read where they got a 90-day extension. And what about those people that's over there making money? They need to start now. That's why I say I would never quit my day job for social media, because at any given moment they change. Like Facebook is not paying like they used to pay. TikTok is hanging on a thin line. If you're making money on TikTok, YouTube so finicky. You can have money sitting in a pot. Somebody strike you, they gonna hold your money. So I would not. I will not stop clocking in. Hey, Ronicia, I would never stop clocking into my job for this. I appreciate everybody and I like communicating with y'all, but as far as making it full time, I wouldn't take that chance. But I would be mad as hell if I don't put in all this hard work on this app. Then it's time to get paid. Somebody struck me, and then they holding my funds, and then that's how I pay my bills. I would, and that's like look how they did Robert on Facebook. All that money he got tied up, and they will not release it. But they get on here with that bad behavior because of the good paycheck. Excuse me, y'all. Give me 1 second. Getting the call in. Y'all, this YouTube gonna come between me and my friends. Every time he call, I'll be like, I'm live, babe. No, but what was I saying? Who remember the last thing I said? Oh, about them. how they hold up people money and play with people money, and then everybody be putting their eggs in one basket, social media basket. Um, and then another thing, I was talking to somebody at my job, right? And I was telling them that I had a YouTube channel. And they asked me what was it. I was like, I don't want y'all following me because of what I follow. And you know the one thing they said in that group, they said as long as you're not following that little truth bullshit, you'll be good. I was embarrassed to tell them, well, that's what I be blogging on, and that's what I do my videos on. But they went on to talk. They was talking about the lady on the other side. They was talking about both of them. Um, the the one that just amped out, got out of it, and her. And I was like, what y'all think about that? And they was like, we just hope that ain't what you. I was like, well, to be honest, yes, that is what I blog on, but I don't act like that. But believe it or not, people from all walks of life be seeing them acting like that. And you never know when this YouTube dry up or the Facebook dry up. You got your face out there. You might have to go work a 9 to 5, and whoever hires you might remember you and be like, we know you. We're not gonna, because of the disposition that you put out here on the internet. The internet, that whatever you put out here is, ooh, it's forever. Like they put stuff out there and delete it. Apple has made it so easy for that delete not to matter, because while you in real time, somebody has a screen recording going on, and you can delete it all you want. When you get through, it's still caught on somebody's screen recording, and they're gonna bring your memory right back to all the stuff that you said. Yep. But let's see. I think Amber is gonna go live next, y'all. Um, Somebody had asked me to do this live about Kiki Wyatt, and I told them that I had been trying to do it, but they was like, we wanna hear something different. So that's the only reason that I did it, because I was not gonna go live today, and I'm so tired of going live talking about Brianna. Y'all just don't know. But when she do something stupid, being a content creator, I do come forward and I talk about it to give my opinion on what she's done. But I appreciate you all so much for being in here with me. I might go live a little bit later. Um, I don't know what about yet, but I might. But I think Tabby's going live later. You got Amber, then you got Tabby. So if I do, it will be tomorrow. And I don't know what it's gonna be about. Um, but a true slayer, let me tell you all, I appreciate sticking with me. Terry, Latay, Penny J, Three is Me, Who Love, Am, True Slayer, I'm Chosen, Robin, um, Sabby. Oh, I didn't see you. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I didn't see you come in. Thank you for coming. I never seen you in the chat. But hey, Latoya. Oh Lord, I missed a lot of people. Latoya, thank you for coming. I didn't see you either. Y'all, if I ever ignore anybody when they come in the chat, if y'all have been in my lives, y'all know. Hey, Roz, y'all know that I'm real bad about keeping up with the chat. So if I miss you, I promise it's not on purpose. I'm acknowledging everybody now. Um, Snooky, Savvy, Steve, and thank you all for the supers. Um, I'm my sister's keeper, Terry and Penny J. I appreciate y'all. And I will see you all possibly tomorrow, but I do know if not tomorrow, then Monday. But thank you all for always continuously supporting us. I'm not just going to say me, I'm going to say all of us. because y'all don't know it's not easy to hit a live button and talk to yourself. And I appreciate y'all for interacting in the chat as well. And like I said, because it's like we talking to ourselves, and when you don't interact in the chat, it seems like we talking to ourselves. So I appreciate you all for being active in the chat as well as coming to my lives. I appreciate those that support with the like. I appreciate those that support by watching my videos. I think those that support with super chat, super stickers, cash app, whatever you all do to support me and help me keep growing my channel. I appreciate that so much. Y'all just don't know how much it means. And I'm hoping to meet a lot of you in Texas. I'm hoping. Oh, Penny Day. I need to go live and get my watch hours, Lord. Go ahead and do it. I'll be right in there with you. Thank you, Renethia. I appreciate that. You're a good supporter as well. And not because, just because you send supers, but I be seeing you watching my videos. I see you support with Super Chat. I see you in my live. So I appreciate y'all. Just don't know, like I said, how much I appreciate you all because y'all could be anywhere else. Like I said, it's another support, it's another content creator live speaking on that saga. And you all could have been over here, but y'all chose to stay over here with me. And y'all don't know, I really, really, really appreciate it. Are you gonna be there? Are you gonna be there, my sister's keeper? Brittany said, bye everyone. Have a good day. Oh, thank you. I had to make Latte a mod too because a lot of times my mods be driving and can't mod, and I be seeing her getting down in them in other people's lives, and then she be in my lives. So I was like, okay, let me go ahead and make her a mod. I don't be knowing who be wanting to be one. I just try to look at the ones that's already one. So I made a lady a mod, and she got in touch with me on Facebook. She said, with all due respect, I don't want my name standing out like that. I said, okay, I get it. But I love you all, and I will see you all in Amber's live. You live in Texas. Oh, wow. Are y'all going to be in Houston? Say yes. What part of Texas you live in? I am my sister's keeper. And Latte, what part of Texas y'all live in? I've been to Texas several times. When me and my husband used to work together, we went to Killeen. We went to Waxahachie out from Dallas. We went to I've been to Houston several times. Edna, Texas, Corpus Christi, and I got family over in what's that down from Corpus Christi? Kingston. I got family in Kingston. Texas is a large state. I used to hate when we used to have to go to work in Texas because my husband at the time was scared to fly, and we had to drive, and it looked like it took us forever to get through Texas. You're 3 hours away. Are you gonna try to do some of the festivities with us at least one day? What about you, Latte? Are y'all gonna try to at least hook up at least one of those days, like a day trip? Okay. I'm 1.5 hours away from Houston. I'm like 45 minutes from the Louisiana border. Okay, you're near. Are you near Charles Lake Charles? That way. So you're gonna be there for the full 4 days. Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. We can put some faces with these names. Okay, we still planning our with the itinerary, so we'll let you all know. Okay. Well, okay, guys. Like I said, I appreciate y'all for sticking it out with me. And like I said, I may go live just because, just talk about anything later. But I am gonna go live either tomorrow or Monday. Like I said, y'all have a good day, and I appreciate every one of y'all. Love y'all. Let me let y'all hear my song on the way out. How y'all like my new intro?
Every voice has a story, every truth has a spark, and our my 2 cents drops wisdom that lights up the dark. Breaking it down, just facts and soul, with that smooth talking rhythm in full control. In case you didn't know, she's got something to say. From headlines to heartlines, every single day. Tune in, lean in, let that insight flow. It's real talk, deep cuts on with the show. Mic on fire with a take you won't miss. No fluff, no fear, just truth in the mix. She's the voice in the static, the calm in the noise, dropping knowledge like jewels, reclaiming the voice. Late night or morning glow, you'll feel it in your bones the way she flows. Hard truth, soft landing, all in her tone. She makes you feel a little less alone. In case you didn't know, it's more than a part. It's perspective, connection, and lifting the fog. So plug and press play, let the good vibes go. You've gotta